The one thing I hate most in life is touching grass. So that's why I decided to challenge myself to beat the entirety of the Great Plateau in Breath of the Wild without ever touching grass. This means that I'll have to beat all 4 shrines and get the paraglider, all while avoiding the grass. Grass, by the way, is defined as all this green stuff. And if I ever touch it, it will be treated like a death, so I'll have to go all the way back to my last autosave. So I booted up a new game and started the challenge. But there's just one problem, because if you've ever played Breath of the Wild, you know that the opening cutscene forces you to touch grass. So if I can't get past the very first part of the game, how can I beat the challenge? Luckily, there's actually a way to skip it. Turns out that using the Sheikah Slate, there's a way for you to clip through the wall and go out of bounds. And from there, you can just climb up this wall and clip back in bounds, skipping the opening cutscene altogether. But now, in order to activate the shrines, you must get to the Great Plateau Tower. And that is very far away, through miles of grassy plains. So I had to find another way to get to the tower. So after grabbing some food and an axe, I made my way to these bokoblins. This is because they have one of the most important items in the game, a shield. Using a shield, you can get a kind of double jump by shield surfing in the air. This is incredibly useful, because it helps me jump over some of these patches of grass. So by luring the bokoblins over to these rocks, I was able to attack them and steal the prized pot lid. After navigating my way through a mountain, I made it to this shrine, but I can't open it yet because I haven't activated the tower. So instead, I came up with a plan, to jump all the way down to this patch of dirt in the bokoblin camp. But there's no way I would survive the fall without the paraglider. However, there is. It turns out that there is an oversight with the developers where canceling a throw in midair will stop any fall damage. I have no idea why, but it's sure to come in handy here. After landing on the grass a few times, I finally got it and landed right in the middle of the bokoblins. So, I defeated them, took their items, and moved on with a precise jump. And now I just had to walk along this cliff's edge until I made it to the tower. So after quite a bit of walking, I made it here, right next to the tower, but it was still surrounded by grass. So I had to walk along this cobblestone building and then jump onto these rocks and into the water. From there, I could jump over these patches of grass and get to the tower. Now, the shrines are activated. So with a little bit of parkour, I made it to the first shrine. And there's no grass in any of these shrines, so I beat it easily. Now I have the magnesis route, allowing me to make small bridges over the grass. Afterwards, I stayed along the edge of the plateau until I made it here, the next shrine. So I got some swag and jumped down to the bomb shrine, and I easily got through it. After that, I warped back to the magnesis shrine, so I'd be able to get a little bit closer to the cryonis shrine. And again, I followed along the cliff's edge, but now in the other direction, until I finally got to the snow again, where I did some jumps and made it to the next shrine without much of a problem. But after beating the shrine, I encountered a new problem. I didn't have enough health to make it all the way to the next shrine, so I would have to forage for some food. And after a while of gathering food, I decided it was time to try again. And this time, I made it to the final shrine. And after beating it, all that was left was the Temple of Time. I easily navigated my way through the mountains until I got here, where I had to jump onto this tiny patch without grass and climb onto the boulder. From there, I jumped down onto this rock and then onto this railing. By following along the railing, I was able to jump onto these cobblestones, where I then jumped onto these stones and then grabbed onto this wall, where I finally climbed all the way to the top of the Temple of Time, where I met the King of Hyrule, and he finally gave me the paraglider, beating the Great Plateau without ever touching grass. Thanks for watching, see you next time.